All right, listen. I've been saying this for weeks, and now it's finally out in the open. Myles Garrett just told the truth about Shedeur Sanders. And what he said. Man, it shocked a lot of people. Because this right here, this is the first real glimpse we've gotten of how the team actually feels about Shedeur. Not the media, not the talk shows, not the clickbait headlines. The team. So Myles gets asked about Shedeur, and not in some lighthearted, throwaway kind of way. They asked him straight up, "What's impressed you the most about how Shedeur's approached the game?" And Garrett didn't hesitate. He said it's the time Shedeur takes, the way he shows up early, the fact that you can literally see him in the coach's office every single morning. He's in there talking through plays, studying schemes, making sure he's prepared for his moment. And then Myles drops the line that says it all. He appreciates Shedeur's maturity and attention to detail. Now stop right there. That's not some fluff answer. That's not a media-trained cliche. That's Myles Garrett, the face of this franchise, giving you the real. And when the defensive leader of the Cleveland Browns goes out of his way to praise your maturity and your work ethic, that tells you everything you need to know about where Shedeur stands inside that locker room. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I don't want to hear from nobody else. Not Mary Kay, not Rex Ryan, not Tony Rizzo, not Joe Blow writing from his couch. None of them are in that facility every morning. They're not walking the hallways. They're not sitting in that quarterback room. They're not seeing who's first in and last out. Myles is. He's there. And when he says, "You can easily see Shedeur in that coach's office every morning," that's all I need to hear. Let's build a totem pole together. Smash like, subscribe, and comment. If this video hits 500 likes, that means we're beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's make it happen. That's leadership. That's preparation. That's what veterans do. And this kid's doing it as a rookie. People keep running their mouths about Shedeur not being ready or needing more time to develop. But how can you say that when he's literally living in the film room? When your defensive captain says this man's in there before the sun comes up, breaking down film with coaches, walking through plays, visualizing his reads. That's not a player coasting. That's a player building. And look, I get it. Dillon Gabriel just had his shot. The Browns made the trade for Joe Flacco. And everybody's losing their minds like it's some kind of statement about Shedeur's readiness. But let's be real, that move was about depth, not doubt. Because deep down, this locker room knows who their future is. You can hear it in the way Myles talks about him. That's not how you talk about a backup you don't believe in. That's how you talk about the guy you see as the next one up. The guy you're already preparing to go to battle with. And that's the part that the outside world just doesn't get. The media only sees what happens on Sunday. But inside that building, they see every rep, every hour, every moment of discipline. And when Myles Garrett, who's as respected as anyone in that building, goes public with his respect for Shedeur, you better believe that carries weight. So I'm telling you now, when Shedeur gets his shot, and he will get his shot, don't be surprised when he looks prepared. Don't act shocked when he comes in calm, collected, ready to command that huddle. Because guys like Myles Garrett don't just hand out compliments like that. They don't vouch for players who haven't earned it. And I know some people are still skeptical. They think this is hype. They think it's another social media moment. But I've watched this story unfold from the start. And everything we're hearing lines up with what I've been saying. This kid's got it. The presence, the poise, the work ethic. It's all there. So the next time someone says, Shedeur's not ready, remember what Myles Garrett, the team's heart and soul, said with his own mouth. He sees the kid in the office every morning. He sees the grind. He sees the maturity. And that's why, when Shedeur's number gets called, this locker room's gonna rally behind him. Because they've already seen the work. They've already seen the preparation. And now, after that Vikings loss, we've got Mary Kay Cabot asking the tough questions, Kevin Stefanski giving his usual cryptic answers, and a locker room that feels like it's walking on eggshells. So yeah, let's unpack this whole mess. When Mary Kay asked Stefanski straight up if Shedeur had pleaded his case, like, "Coach, I'm ready, give me the shot," you could see the tension in the air. And of course, Kevin hit us with the most classic Stefanski answer ever. "All our guys are working hard. We're focused on development. We'll see how the week plays out." Translation: he's not giving up a single ounce of information. And honestly, that's his thing. He never answers directly. But when he does give you those tiny half sentences, that's when you know something's brewing behind the scenes. Now here's the part that really caught me. The trade. Joe Flacco getting shipped off to Cincinnati. That came out of nowhere. And if you watched Stefanski's presser, you could see it on his face. He was shaken. I mean, genuinely blindsided. Tony Grossi said the same thing. You could tell Stefanski wasn't expecting that one bit. That was his guy. You could tell he wanted that veteran leadership, that stabilizing voice in the quarterback room. And honestly, that might even explain why he's been so hesitant to bump Shedeur up. Because Joe Flacco was the guy he trusted. And when that safety net got ripped away, he suddenly looked like a coach who didn't have a plan B. Now, I've been saying this for weeks. Just because Joe Flacco got traded doesn't automatically mean Shedeur becomes QB2. What it does mean, though, is that his window is opening. Stefanski himself has said there's a plan in place to get Shedeur on the field. But now, that plan has to move up, whether Kevin likes it or not. Because you can't keep drafting young quarterbacks, trading away veterans, and then pretending you're developing talent when your most talented guy's sitting on the bench. And that's the irony here. Because if you really listen to Stefanski, he keeps saying things like, we're invested in these young players' development, and we have to do what's best for the team. But what development? Where's the proof? What quarterback has Kevin Stefanski actually developed? I'll wait. You can't count Baker Mayfield. The guy's been gone for years. Tyrod Taylor? Bro, he was here for like 5 minutes. This team's quarterback carousel has been spinning so long, it's giving fans motion sickness. Now let's talk about the reps, because this is where I think Shedeur's entire situation has been mishandled. During camp, Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel were eating up first-team reps while Shedeur was mostly running with backups. You can't tell me that's how you develop your rookie quarterback. If you want him ready, you've got to let him play. Throw him in there, let him make mistakes, let him grow. Instead, they kept giving first-team reps to Kenny Pickett, who, by the way, was injured half the time, and Joe Flacco, who's pushing 40. Meanwhile, Shedeur's just out there running scout team against the ones. Like, how's that supposed to prepare a kid for live NFL action? And then people say, oh, he's not ready. Of course he's not ready if you never let him take a single first-team snap. You can't tell me that's fair. He was set up to be third string from day one. And now, after Pickett's gone, after Flacco's gone, we're suddenly acting like, well, maybe we'll see what he's got. It's frustrating, man, because if you've been watching, you know the kid's been doing everything right. And this isn't just me talking. You've got Myles Garrett and Jerry Jeudy, 2 veterans, leaders of this team, both going out of their way to talk about how professional Shedeur's been. Myles said he sees him in the building early, sitting with coaches, going over plays, going over schemes. Jerry Jeudy said the same thing. The kid's doing everything he's supposed to, waiting for his shot. That's not just PR talk. That's respect. That's teammates telling you he's putting in the work. And for me, that matters way more than some TV analyst throwing shade from a studio. Speaking of that, yeah, I'm looking at you, Rex Ryan. This man goes on national TV talking about how Shedeur's not focused, how he's a distraction. Bro, have you seen the tape? Have you watched what's been coming out of Berea? Every insider close to the Browns has said the same thing. Shedeur's been grinding. He's been working harder than people realize. He's showing up early, staying late, running film with the coaches. And he's not just saying the right things, he's living them. But hey, it's easier to chase clicks than to chase facts, right? And then you've got the media hounding him at a car dealership. Like, what are we even doing? The man's buying a car. He's not out clubbing, not getting in trouble. He's literally buying a car. And that somehow becomes a headline. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel's out here getting sponsorship deals with Pacifica, and no one bats an eye. It's wild how different the energy is when it's Shedeur. But that's what comes with the name Sanders. Everything he does gets magnified. Now, when they asked Shedeur how he felt about Joe Flacco getting traded, that's when you saw his character shine through. He called Joe the old man, said he always made him smile, always brought positive energy to the room. You could tell there was genuine respect there. That's leadership. That's maturity. And that's the part people keep missing. Shedeur's not just some flashy rookie. He's thoughtful. He's self-aware. He's trying to bring good energy into that locker room. He even said it himself. If you meet me, I'm a great guy. And honestly, I believe him. So yeah, it's frustrating watching Stefanski dance around these questions. It's frustrating watching this franchise fumble yet another quarterback situation. But at the same time, it's telling. Because Kevin's comments, even when he's dodging, have never once discredited Shedeur. He's never taken a shot at him. He's never said anything negative about the kid. That tells me something. It tells me Stefanski knows there's something there. He's just scared to pull the trigger. And I get it. He's under pressure. Bruce Arians said it perfectly. It's a results business. You can be the nicest guy in the world, but if you're 4-20 in your last 24 games, it doesn't matter. You're not winning. And if Kevin Stefanski's trying to save his job, I get why he's cautious. But at some point, you've got to stop playing scared and start playing bold. Because this safe, conservative, we'll let the week play out approach is what's holding the Browns back. We've seen this movie before, and it doesn't end well. So here's where I stand. Shedeur's going to get his shot this season. He's earned it. Whether it's because the roster forces Stefanski's hand, or because the fans demand it, it's coming. But the way this has all unfolded tells me one thing. This coaching staff never had a real plan for how to handle these quarterbacks. And now, they're scrambling. Maybe Stefanski thought Joe Flacco would hold the fort until midseason, let Dillon and Shedeur split reps later on. Maybe that was the plan. But now Flacco's gone, Pickett's gone, and Kevin's standing there saying, "We're still figuring things out." You're 5 weeks in, man. You should have figured this out months ago. At the end of the day, this isn't just about one player. It's about culture. It's about a franchise that's been chasing its tail at quarterback for decades. And I'll tell you what, if Shedeur finally gets the shot, if they just let him play, let him learn, that could be the turning point. But if they keep doing this development by hesitation routine, we're going to be having the same conversation next year. So Browns fans, you tell me, do you think Stefanski's really developing these guys? Or do you think he's just protecting himself? Because from where I'm standing, it feels like we're watching another lost season slip through our fingers, while the most talented quarterback on the roster sits there waiting for his number to be called. Like the video if you agree, drop your thoughts below, and hit that bell. Because trust me, we're going to keep breaking this down every single week. Whether it's Shedeur, Dillon, or whoever's under center, I'm going to keep it real with you. Because that's what Browns fans deserve. Honesty, passion, and accountability. See y'all in the next one.